All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. So this episode we are doing something a little different, something we have talked about doing for a long time. So as many of you know, that me and Mark are men of a certain age. And one of the things that we've always talked about with older horror movies, especially movies from the early 80s, is how would the youth of today feel about those movies. And so I had kind of floated the idea of having one of my daughter's friends who has not really been exposed to horror movies ever sit down and watch a movie of my choice and get her reaction to that. So this episode we are doing that, and I'm joined by my youngest daughter, Abby, who those of you would remember from the old S&M days. She portrayed Bob the Russian. Maybe Bob the Russian will make an appearance later in the episode.
No.
And her friend Gwen.
Hi, I'm Gwen.
In this episode, we are talking about the 1980 movie Friday the 13th. And usually that's where Mark takes over and goes into his spiel about the movie, but I don't expect you guys to do that right now. He gives some stuff like, this is a Sean Cunningham movie that
I don't even know who that is.
See? And then Tom Savini did the special effects. So this movie is kind of... It was, I should say, a controversial movie at the time because this movie was a blatant ripoff of Halloween.
Oh, did not know that.
Yeah, see? I didn't think you probably did know that.
No, I do.
So, the first off, and we're going to do stuff a little bit different than we normally do. So, one of the things that I want to find out right away with this movie is, were you bored, either one of you, when you were watching the movie?
Well, I kind of was not really super, fascinated at the beginning, mainly because I just was not sure, because the plot wasn't, really thrown into your face, so I was kind of just like, oh, there's a camp. People are dying, and more people are dying. When are more people going to die to the point that it's exciting that people are dying? You know, I don't know. I wasn't bored. I was interested because I knew it was a classic movie, and I wanted to see, what the hype was about and where it was going. But I don't know. It wasn't I wasn't, at the edge of the sofa being, oh my gosh, where is it going? But I wasn't bored.
Were you bored?
No. I don't know. Well, I think 80s does not have the most intellectual acting.
Well, the movie's not about acting.
Oh,
so
definitely
sometimes
not.
I'm very intrigued by the way that they portray the characters.
So this movie came out of the success of Halloween. So this was just a complete copycat movie. And it was not the first copycat movie of Halloween, but this was the most... how do I want to put it? It wasn't the most successful, but there's been more Friday the 13th movies than there has been any other franchise movies of the time.
Yeah.
Of any of them, because there's been, 13 of them or whatever, 12 of them.
Wow, they should make
That's a lot of movies.
Yeah.
What else? Why do they always make so many movies of horror movies?
Furious, but
Yeah, Fast and Furious might beat it out eventually.
Yeah, I've not seen a single Fast and Furious movie. I've only seen a parody called Super Fast.
I've never even heard of that.
It's interesting. But I did not remember any of the characters' names from Friday the 13th. I could not remember. I could not tell who was who. There was just a lot of girls and a lot of guys, and they were kind of just running around half naked most of the time. And I kind of was differentiating people based on their hairstyles. And then there was a woman who was like, oh, my son is dead. And then she kind of just, ran around. Sloppily trying to kill somebody, and then, she lost her head. And I was like, oh. Oh, all right. I thought there was supposed to be a person named Jason in this movie, because that's literally the only thing I know from this movie franchise. I mean, he was mentioned, and he was there, technically, but it was kind of just his mom. So I'm kind of wondering if the crazy kind of thing runs in the family before he kind of died. Like, was it just normal to, like, be like that, or,
I don't know.
I want to see the when Jason's childhood years. I want to know what that was like. What led his mother to run around crazily like that, and where was she before that?
See, for that you'd have to read the comics that came out.
There's comics for this?
Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh Lord!
Isn't there a backstory movie?
Well, no, there's not.
What one did I watch?
I don't know.
Because I've seen the boat scene, but not the rest of the movie.
There was never the intention to be a sequel after the original Friday the 13th movie, because sequels weren't a thing in the 70s and the 80s. And then Friday the 13th came out in 1980, and then the guys behind the original Halloween were like, oh, hey, this is catching on, let's do another one. And then they started doing Friday the 13th movies, and then that's throughout the entire 80s, there was a Friday the 13th movie every year.
So
almost.
Were they like kind of competing with that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you had Nightmare on Elm Street in the mix as well, and then you had a couple other movies. So you had like Hellraiser came out, Child's Play came out towards the end of the 80s. Yeah. So, I mean, you had the whole slasher, and that was a thing in the 80s. It was all slashers.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the other movie that we watched tonight, which we'll get to later. But, you know, it was all like slashers. And there was
mindless killing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it. It wasn't about the acting. It wasn't about anything. It was just about...
Oh, no. People
count.
Are dying.
Yep.
Entertainment value.
Yeah. Body count, how creative... kills, gore, boobs.
Yeah. All the important stuff.
Yeah.
Very 80s.
Feathered hair, drugs.
Yeah.
And then once you got to sort of to the mid 80s, then rock bands started making songs for the movies. So then you would have like songs in the movies. This is a whole thing. 80s were a great decade for movies.
Suppose so.
Yeah.
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 When you watch this movie today, did you know anything about it going into it, other than the fact that you knew somehow Jason was associated with it?
I knew that it was a classic horror movie. I knew the name. I don't know if the term Friday the 13th really comes with this movie or not. I don't think it does. I knew that people died, and that's pretty much about it. How about you, Abby? You kind of have more background with this movie than I do.
Yes. I knew who Jason was. I knew the drowning thing. I knew who Pam was, because that's who my car is named after. So, I had a little revelation where I was like, where's Pam? And then she showed up and I was like, it's Pam. So that was nice. Rest in peace, Julie Andrews. Has she been dead?
Julie, I don't know.
No, Julie Andrews is alive.
We can look it up.
Are we talking about the lady who played the...
Betsy Palmer is dead.
Oh.
Yeah, her photo on Google was in black and white, so that...
Well, she hasn't been dead that long.
That's pretty telling, though.
But we can look it up real quick and see if Julie Andrews is dead. And we should explain that you guys originally thought that was Julie Andrews.
I don't know if I necessarily thought she was Julie Andrews. Just when the character of Pam made her entrance, I was like, huh. Kind of giving me Julie Andrews vibes. Psycho Julie Andrews. You know, she was so loving it at first, but then she was like, oh, you killed my son. And I was like, huh. Julie Andrews.
No, Julie
wild.
Andrews is still alive.
Oh, yeah.
How old is she?
She was born in 1935.
No, well, I knew Pam was in this movie because I Googled it. So I kind of knew it wasn't Julie Andrews.
But it feels like Julie Andrews.
You Googled it while we were watching the movie?
Well, yeah, I just wanted to see... Well, I wanted to see which one I have seen. And then I looked at the cast list and I saw that Dear Pam.
I don't know which one you saw. Unless you saw the new one. The remake.
When did that come out?
2009-ish.
The remake of specifically this movie, or like...
Wow, it's like a remake of like the first like 3 movies.
Oh, that sounds like a good idea.
Huh.
Was it?
So, like, have you seen this movie a million times?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But, okay, you've never seen this movie, or you've seen other movies from this franchise.
Possibly.
You don't even know?
I know the story, and I know what he looks like. And I know Pam, dear Pamela. Rest in peace.
So, at least now you know, like, who the legacy of your car's name, right?
I mean, I kind of knew it was Pam Voorhees before.
I hope your car also doesn't get beheaded.
It'll probably happen.
Oh.
But, no, when I
already
first...
did.
Oh.
Yeah. No, but when he first told me that the car was named Pam, I thought Pamela Anderson. So that was kind of disappointing, but, you know.
I don't even know if Gwen knows who Pamela Anderson is.
It rings a bell.
Yeah, she was on Baywatch.
Oh, I've never seen that movie.
Then she made a sex tape.
Oh,
Yep.
I mean, it sounds like her name. I don't know. She seems like that kind of name. My next guest was, if I figured it was going to be some kind of actress, but I was like, kind of sounds like a porn star name, so I didn't know if that was where it was leading to.
It's close.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, kind of a porn star.
Yeah,
I mean, it's Baywatch, so.
Have you seen that one episode of My Strange Addiction where the girl's obsessed with looking like Pamela Anderson?
I have not.
It's a good episode.
Gwen, have you seen any episodes of My Strange Addiction?
I've seen whatever you call them, those thingies on YouTube of that show. I've never, put the time into watching full episodes of it, but, I've seen the one where it's, the guy who's in love with his car, the one with the guy who's in love with inflatable animals, and, all the classics.
Animals. I think this will be the first episode that inflatable animals is mentioned.
Well,
He has sex with them.
So did the other guy have sex with his car?
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yep,
There wasn't footage of that, but he described,
He makes out with his car.
Yeah.
He
lays under his car.
He's the bottom. And he just makes out with his car in his driveway with all of his neighbors just lurking. That would make an interesting sex tape.
I feel like that's illegal somehow.
I just assumed some sort of insert into the tailpipe.
Okay, there was one time, I don't know if it was My Strange Addiction, but I watched a weird docu-series about people who were in love with objects, and there was this one lady who was married to the Eiffel Tower, and then she cheated on the Eiffel Tower with some bridge or something.
Yep, the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. I have watched that documentary multiple times. It is very weird. It doesn't get any better. No, but there's this one woman that used to be, she married a crossbow or something. She's like, this is my crossbow Lance. He's my husband. So yeah, there's a lot of childhood trauma related to that.
Related to
sexuality.
What? To what?
Objectum sexuality.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know where this...
No, she had sex with the bridge. She took a chunk of it home, and she's like, I remember the first time I made love to him.
Oh.
So, did you watch the full thing?
I don't remember, but I just remember bits and pieces of it and being kind of scared.
Yeah, I've never forgotten any part of it. It's very traumatizing.
So back to the movie. There was no objectum, what do you call it?
Object sexual...
Yeah, there was not much of that in this movie. I have not seen the other Friday the 13th movies, so I can't speak for them. But in this particular one, I didn't see that take place. But okay, I wanted to ask you, what does this movie like mean to you, and why do you have such like a fascination with it? Because like this specific one is like your favorite one, right?
No,
No?
it's not.
Okay.
Nope. So of all of them, my favorite one is Part 6.
Okay.
Just because Part 6 is the first unedited movie I ever saw, that rated R unedited movie. It came out in 1986. I saw it probably like in 1987. But the Friday the 13th movies, none of them individually are great. Like, some of them are pretty good. But as a whole, they're pretty good. And the one thing with the Friday the 13th movies, unlike a lot of the other franchise movies, is they tend to stick to the original story, which the original story is pretty basic.
Yeah.
Pamela Voorhees was this cook at the summer camp, and her kid drowned because the counselors were fooling around. And that pretty much stayed consistent throughout all of the movies. Whereas if you watch any of the other movies, like whether it's Halloween or Nightmare on Elm Street, it kind of zigzags what was happening. And again, this original Friday the 13th movie was kind of a ripoff, but then it ended up being not more successful necessarily, but it ended up being... it's hard to explain how it was one of those things when we were kids, because Friday the 13th was always on.
Yeah.
On back in the day. I'm going to use a phrase here that I don't know if you guys are familiar with or not, but this was back on cable all the time when we were kids.
Oh, cable.
Yeah.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, Abby probably doesn't even know what that is.
Kind of cutting off track, but I said the word on demand. You know what that is?
Yeah.
Back when they used to, like, you could rent movies on there, and some people had no idea what I was talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was back on, this used to, like, the Friday the 13th movies used to always be on, like, USA and stuff, the cable channel back in the day, but they were edited. And my buddy who does the podcast with me, Mark, he would always record movies on when they were on, because his parents wouldn't let him watch the unedited stuff a lot of times without them. But if it was edited, then they were like, "Oh yeah, that's fine.
It's fine. It's clean."
So he would record them, and he was like the master, because he would actually have it where he would record them and he would skip all the commercials and stuff. Again, commercials are something you're not familiar with, but then we would watch them. But Friday the 13th was always the movies that we watched the most at his house. So, and it's just I don't know. There's just something with Jason. Which, I mean, you didn't see Jason really.
No, he kind of just popped out of the water like a dolphin, and you know, looks like a
victim.
burned rabbit or something. I don't know.
Yeah, the mongoloid Jason at the end of the movie.
Is that like an iconic thing? Like, can you buy a Funko Pop of that or something?
Oh, I'm sure you can.
With that specific name. You know, as I was watching this movie, because I've realized the Funko Pop line is very popular within the horror genre. Well, obviously they make figures out of everything that they can get money from. But I'm like, I wonder if each and every one of these characters that I cannot remember the names to has its own little...
Nope.
No?
No one cares about that.
Nope. The only ones out of the first movie that are of any importance would be the young Jason that you saw at the end of the movie, Pamela Voorhees, and then Alice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
All the other characters. I mean, there might be some, like, weird, like, not, like, Funko stuff, but, like, some, like, weird...
Obscure.
Like, yeah, like, you can buy, like, some probably obscure, like, action set that has something like the camp scene from... And then it has, like, some of them, but... Yeah, I can't... I mean, I've seen this movie probably 100 times, and I couldn't name anybody other than those characters.
That one annoying one, and then the other annoying one, and then that one that dies this way, and...
I liked when he was crucified with the arrows.
Yeah?
That was fun.
Yeah.
When does he show up with the mask? Like, when do you see?
Towards the end of part 3.
Wow.
Yeah. So part 2, he come out, and he had a potato sack on his head. And then part 3 came out, and then they were like, oh, we gotta get rid of the potato sack because I don't know what the exact reason was. It was something with the Ku Klux Klan or something else. But
Yeah.
But, and then it just happened that somebody had like a hockey mask in their car and like, oh, let's try this out. And then it worked out. And then that became what, if you think of Jason, that's probably what you think of. Hockey mask. Which you've never seen Jason in a movie with hockey mask.
No, I have not. But I've seen
that.
I've seen children wearing that as a costume for Halloween. In grade school, none of the people in my grade had actually watched these movies, but yet everybody knew like what the like slasher was in each one of them. So then everybody would be like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go as Jason for Halloween." I'd be like, "What even is that?"
So let me ask you this then,
Yeah.
because and you can't answer this because you already know this, but so you know who Jason is, but of the other movies of the 80s, can you name other slashers of the 80s?
Well, Chucky, obviously. I don't know if
that's the title.
Chucky, Freddy Krueger.
That's also the title of the movie.
No, it's not.
Well, I just asked for the slasher to see if she actually knows who they are.
I'm trying to think. That one guy with all the, like, spikes on his head.
Pinhead?
Yeah. I don't know.
What about the other guy who just came out with another movie from last year? I'll give you Halloween.
You know, I don't know anything about the Halloween franchise. Like, literally nothing.
So Michael Myers.
Okay, yeah, I don't, like, okay, when I hear Michael Myers, I think of, like, it sounds like somebody who's, like, a Hollywood star, not like because isn't there somebody who has a name very similar to that?
Michael Myers from, like, Austin Powers.
Yeah, that's what I think of. I don't think of the killer. I don't, like, okay? I don't know. I don't know anything about the Halloween franchise at all, except that it's called Halloween and people die.
Well,
Interesting.
I think you can guess the setting.
Halloween. I mean, unlike Abby, who has a father who watches horror movies and has a horror movie podcast, my family did not watch any horror movies, and I never watched. Like, my parents are just not really horror movie fans at all. So, I don't know, I just never watched them. Like, this is probably, like, tonight was the first time that I actually, like, sat down and watched like, what you would kind of classify horror movies. Like, beyond that, my only experience with a quote-unquote horror movie was at a 7th grade birthday party when we randomly decided to rent the horrible movie Bye Bye Man and watch it. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's a bad movie.
Never heard of it.
It's one of those, like, really bad modern teen horror films, like the Slender Man movie that they banned in Wisconsin because of the murder.
Like, I don't even remember the plot besides, like, that these, like, 3 college kids move into this house, and then there's, like, you can't say or think the Bye Bye Man's name, otherwise it makes you go crazy and kill people.
Well, that seems logical.
Yeah.
So, were you surprised at all at the end of the movie? Like, because I know that there was a couple of times throughout the movie you're like, he's over there, he's in the closet, he's in that. Mm-hmm. So when Pam, like, showed up, and then you're like, oh, hey, it's Julie Andrews. And then all of a sudden were you like, oh, shit! That bitch is the killer.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. I mean, honestly, I kind of thought, I was like, when is this guy in the weird mask going to show up? Because, like, nothing has been happening. And so I was like, I thought he was going to, like, come out of, like, the food closet, and, like, I was, like, waiting for that. But, I don't know, it was weird that it was some woman, and I was like, okay, that's different. So that kind of caught me off. But, I don't know, now I'm like, when does he show up? When does he come out of the lake? When does he stop being a mermaid? When does he learn how to breathe and walk on land again? How is he surviving? Is he a fish? What is
that comes in the next one.
How do they explain it? Did he grow gills?
No, he just all of a sudden he went from, like, being 12 years old to being, like, 25.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
And 2 weeks later. Like, it's not explained at all.
Also, like, what is the time frame from when he died and the camp was closed down to when a bunch of these random kids were just like, all right, let's just open this place back up
So
again.
if you go off the timeline of the first movie, so the opening scene happens in 1958 when he dies, and then this came out in 1980.
Okay.
And then, so that's 22 years. Now, the thing with the Friday the 13th movies is supposedly every Friday the 13th movie happens on Friday the 13th.
I would hope so.
And this all takes place in New Jersey.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's not really... I mean, they're all filmed in New Jersey. Well, the first ones were. And they all take place in the summertime. So, if you take that timeline of Friday the 13th in the summertime, then all of a sudden you have, because you have like 12 movies or whatever. So then all of a sudden you have like this time span from like 1980 to, I think it ends up being something like 2024 or something with all the different time frames. But there's also some weird like fan theories that like Friday the 13th, like 3, 4, and 2, 3, and 4 happen like on the same weekend, and then 4 is like the following, or 2, 3, and 4 happen on the same weekend, or something. It's really weird. So I mean, it's also one of those things, those like weird franchises where there's not like a really solid timeline, so you could, in theory, throw like other things into the play.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
I mean, like, people do that with Star Wars and stuff like that, but like, I mean, now like people kind of capitalized off of that franchise a little bit more. Like, I don't know if the horror movie genre really like as so much, like, at least from my like, I don't know much at all, but it's like, I don't know if they necessarily like sell as much like, oh, here's a canon book of like all the like timelines of the universe before any of the movies happen,
Well, the thing with a lot of the horror movies, especially the Friday the 13th stuff, and we won't get too much into it, but because there's this giant lawsuit going on now, based off of the first one, because if you were paying, like I said before, the story is, the movie is a Sean Cunningham story, but the movie was written by Victor Miller, and there's this whole lawsuit, like who actually owns the characters. Does Sean Cunningham own the characters? Does Victor Miller own the characters? And that's been going on for years, but there has been all these like fan movies of Friday the 13th, and there's actually been some really good ones that are, I mean, you just go on YouTube and like look them up. And they kind of play off of that. They'll just like throw like, oh, here's Jason like in the snow, which never happened in the movie. So there's like, oh, here's Jason like randomly like
Jason for all the seasons besides summer.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and rate this one. So as I've done before, I give this one a giant thumbs up. Abby?
Thumbs up, I guess. I think there's some fun in the classic 80s thrash. I think from a critical standpoint.
Yeah.
But I think 80s thrashes or slashers, whatever, are really fun.
Yeah. I give a thumbs up. I mean, it's not really particularly the most outstanding movie. It didn't move me to tears or want me to change the world to be a better place. So little boys who drowned in rivers and their mothers don't come and kill everyone. But I can kind of see its historical significance in this genre, and it was good fun.
So would you watch this one again, or would you be like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna watch part whatever?
Yeah, I feel like I'd watch the other ones.
Cool.
But maybe I'd watch this one just for shits and giggles.